Awesome. Hey YouTube, I'm Sarah. This afternoon, I'm here with Juliana, Leo, and Vinicius, so we can talk a little about corporate education. I was talking to the guys that this is a free conversation. We are not here to judge, just to interact in English, okay? And to exercise, practice our vocab as well, business English. So let me start with the first question, and then you can also share your perspectives, okay, with each other. So, how do you enhance your skills at work? Are you currently taking any courses? So, I'm addicted to online courses. I have this confession to make because it's so interesting how you can learn so much in a relative easy way. It's not easy for sure because you have to put some effort into it. You have to organize your time. You have to pay attention to the classes, write things down, read after, review the content, of course. But I feel like it's way easier than before because now we can just access a website and subscribe for a course that is something we are interested in learning. So for me, I really enjoy taking a look at some platforms like Coursera, Cultive, that are great places for you to learn. And I started learning English, not started, but I continued to develop my English with Cultive. That is a platform where you can find free courses like English, Spanish, Italian, and so on. Right, currently I'm taking an Excel course because that is something important for my field, that is business administration, and I was procrastinating this course since the last year, so I I have to finish because I have to put on my resume that I actually finished the course. But in a long story short, right now I just take online courses. I'm not doing anything in person, not any uh, graduation or something like that. Everything's online, and I feel like it works so well for me because I can manage my time in the way it makes more sense to me. That's my reality right now. And how about you, Ju?
At the moment, I'm doing many courses, and the courses I'm doing all in digital, all in online digital, and it's about law, and data protection for consumers, and I'm doing now 2 post-graduation, one in consumers and the other in the law business. And that's it.
A lot of things, but I know you are organized, so it works well. Very nice. Ju, can you choose someone to answer the question? Your mic is off. Okay.
Leo, and you, Leo?
Yeah, well, usually I try to improve my skills studying. It's so important. For example, I've been studying English for more than one year, um, and also Spanish for more than 2 years. Then I'm training and trying to study a lot, even English and Spanish, almost not every day, but almost every day. I try to do my best to have to keep in contact with the language, yeah, English and Spanish. And also in my field, I need to learn some skills, some tech skills, yeah. For example, programming in SQL to manipulate databases. Also, I'm studying a lot Tableau and Power BI. There are some data visualization tools. And in addition, I'm studying some things about product management. It's so important in my area to study business and other things. And I have a goal to learn how to program in Python. But I in other hands, I know that it's almost impossible to do all of these things at the same time. Then I'm trying to study the other skills, and then Python just in the next year. I'm not going to study Python this year because I like to study other things, not just about job, yeah, about my professional career. For example, I play piano and I'm studying music theory. Yeah, it's so important for me. And then I'm doing a course 2 times per week, and it's one more thing that I'm doing. Then for example, some weeks ago, I I started to think, well, I need to stop. I need to focus on the things that I really want to do. And then I decided to keep Python in a kind of backlog. Yeah, I'm not going to study Python this year, but my main goal is English, Spanish, and SQL for this moment. Yeah, I don't know you guys, but about post graduation, I did a post graduation in marketing in 2019. But after the pandemic, I saw that the things are changing a lot in the way that I don't know that, for example, in my field, a post graduation is gonna be so relevant. Then I'm trying to wait for what what we're going to see when we talk about the education markets, because I'm really sure that the things will change a lot, including when we talk about ChatGPT and other ways to learn with artificial intelligence. Then I don't know if, for example, this year is a good year to start or to invest a lot of money in a MBA, for example. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. It is, thank you, Leo. It is a fair point, you are gonna make investment and you gotta be sure that it's something that fits with the moment you are living at work and with the demands they might have for you as an employee, so I completely understand. I did a specialization in 2021, but I felt I didn't like it so much. So I'm trying to make sure the next I'm gonna choose is gonna be good enough. So it's gonna be a wise choice, and not only to have a degree, a diploma, but just to make sure I actually learn things and I can count on this knowledge. Not only to uh, say that I have this, but I don't use it for anything. I try to make it better this time. Yeah. And you, Vinicius.
Okay. Um, I think for me, like a technician, what I can share with you guys, it is if you want to enhance your skills and being a technician, you need to be more practical than just theoretical. Like if you grab a lot of the issues, technical issues, you'll be better as science by the passing the time because you are handling with the most common problems of the device or technology. So if you want to improve it, I think the best yeah, the best goal is to have a lot of experience in practice. I think it's better. But for me, specifically talking about business, I have my own business, trying to being an entrepreneur or seller. I think for me, it is hard because I didn't was a sales person before, so for me, it is hard sometimes to convince a customer, trying to provide tips, trying to provide the same information that my company can offer the correct solution for say problem. So I've started to learn with videos, with uh, YouTube videos on internet, Coursera course too, like you said, sir. I and yesterday I've started a MBA in commercial management and in sales too. So trying to learn more, specifically more to sales, because I think it would be providing to me and my company a better future, because it is an area that I didn't work before. So for me, I think if you want to improve some skill, you need to go after that, listing as much as you can, with podcasts, with breaking news courses, online courses, asking for friends that know how to work with this kind of problems that you are handling with. So that's it. I think if you want to improve something, you need to focus on it and try to find tools to achieve it. Okay.
Yeah, very interesting point, Vinicius. Thank you so much. I was here thinking that we didn't mention this that you just said, the people you can talk to. We were thinking about technology and online world, but we didn't think about like real life. You know, you can talk to a colleague and they can give you some tips. So that's also another way for you to improve your skills. Learning from the ones who have more experience than you know, so it makes a lot of sense. And of course, knowing the practical part as well, because sometimes everybody can read a book or watch a YouTube video, but when it comes to when practical stuff, it could be harder, right? So yeah, I totally understand your point.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna skip number 3 for now and gonna go with question number 4. Let's talk about engagement. Okay. So what can be done to engage employees in educational activities? Like if you want them to participate, what should we do as an employer or someone who works with training at companies? Ju, what do you think?
Question number 3.
Number 4. Okay.
I think it's important for engaging employees in the educational activities. The courses really helps in the routine, because sometimes the companies choice the courses no make sense for routine for useful. I think it's a crucial.
I understand. And people feel like, oh, I have the free time because this course is not interesting for me, so I'm gonna do anything else. It happens a lot. I totally get what you said. Thank you, Ju. And how about you, Leo? What's your opinion on this question?
Yeah, for me, companies should engage more the employees with educational activities. For example, I know some companies in Rio, like Petrobras, Vibra, and others, that promote some kind of internal MBA, yeah, to the employees in a kind of partnership with a college. Then I hear Petrobras has a partnership with UFRJ, and then the employees of Petrobras can do post graduation in UFRJ without paying anything. But it's a process. Yeah, the employee needs to participate in a process to be approved or not. And so that's so interesting. I think that this kind of improvements it's so important to the employees, especially for example English. Yeah, I know that some companies offer the scholarships to students to the employees study English with discounts or a complete scholarship. It's so interesting, in my opinion.
Like if I would, if I were about to accept a job offer, I would look at these points, about the corporate education, if I could take some courses with some partnerships, like you mentioned. For me, it's amazing because you feel like you are being appreciated and the company is encouraging you to grow, and to improve your skills, not only for the company, but for your life in general. So I totally agree with you. And I would say that it's a combination of things, for example, even the platform is something that is important. If the course is going to be online, it should be easy to access. It should be visually interesting as well for the employees. And of course, maybe you could give them some like a free pass to access the courses. Or you are not working right now, so you can study. You don't have to work here for 8 hours and then take the course in your free time, take more time. Maybe this could be like an agreement for the companies. I'm not saying, oh, don't work, just study, but maybe finding the balance. It's more it's interesting, this offer for the employees, because they could be more, okay, they could engage more because they don't feel like that's a waste of time, but the company values that moment that they are studying as well. So I feel like the company is important to make sure the employees understand that it's not only a matter of say, oh, we have this here so we can be attractive, but that it's something that in practical terms it also works. That's my opinion. Vinicius, how about yourself?
Well, I think um, the companies can could offer to employ some internship programs or some educational efforts trying to engage them to get better positions inside the company. A, and I think there are a lot of companies in my specialization area that can they pay for employees to go outside Brazil to do a a course or a training. So for them, it is important to invest in people to get result in say a company for sure. I think there are a lot of companies and educational companies in Brazil that offers it too. Like we have Senai, ETEC here in Brazil. They they choose some students to provide them some educational background different from others, trying to get results to companies. So I think the companies should do it more easily, often for sure. So that's it. I think if you know how to make the people, the employees feel worth it, I think the workflow can be improved for sure. Doing this little effort. So I think for me it is totally important doing something like that. Okay.
Awesome. I'm with you on this one. Yeah, like a raise, it's a good way to inspire the employees to get good grades and engage into courses because they will be like, okay, I can get something in return. Not only the knowledge that is awesome by itself, but if you can receive more money, who would say no? So maybe it could work, right? So the next question, let's take a look. Okay, question number 5. Uh, Vinicius, can you read this question and start answering it?
5. Okay. What type of subjects are common for most companies? I think the most common subjects are to get good professionals with a big background. And for me, it is a mistake for sure. Just choose people who have big backgrounds like educational, not giving opportunities. I think there are a lot of companies that do it until now. So I think it is a mistake for sure. Because if you give the people opportunity, trying to develop it, not require too much earlier, I think it can be a door to providing a good professional at the future, for sure. Because for me, for my experience, experience, I didn't know what were medical equipment before, and so I've got a opportunity some years ago trying to learn how to develop it with the internship, a trainee program some years ago. So for me, it was a huge experience because I've learned how to work, how to improve myself, how to improve my educational background because I had a first opportunity. So I think there are a lot of companies that could need change this kind of idea for sure. Okay.
Yeah, fair point. It's like you can't put everyone in the same box, right? People are different, and it's like you could take advantage in a positive way of the backgrounds, the knowledge they already have. Very good. But let me ask you something. Okay, another question. For example, if you, let's think about courses the companies offer. So if you could think about a subject that is common for different types of companies, for example, hospital, pharmaceutical companies, all the kinds of companies that, what do you think they would present as a top for a course?
Um, can you repeat, please? I don't understand so well.
Okay, no, don't worry, I talk too much. But let me try to make it smaller.
No, it's okay.
What types of courses are necessary for all
Okay.
companies?
Okay. So, specifically to work with medical equipment, I think you need to have some of the technology background, like electrical courses, engineering courses, to work with medical equipment. If you want to work specifically with the pharmaceutical companies, I think you could do some something more similar to uh, chemical. I don't know how to say in English, but you can do nursery, be a PhD to work with this company. So I think you have to choose something in common for sure. Like technology can abroad a lot of specialties, specifically with medical equipment, engineering, nursing, patient medication. So I think for working with my area, you need to have some kind of this background for sure.
Yeah, really nice. We can learn a lot of different fields, right?
Mhm.
Awesome. And how about you, Ju? What do you think about question number 5?
I think number 5. What type of subjects are common for companies, for most companies? I think maybe generical topics like emotional intelligence, because this topic is necessary for all people in different the sector, the industry. How how do uh, how do meetings, how do good meetings, how do you say, the when communication topics. I think topics more generic.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Like time management, organization, or mental health as well. That is something that we've been talking more often now, right? So when I came up with this question, I was thinking about that. Like some companies, it doesn't matter if they are big or smaller, they have different clients for sure, different systems, but they always have something common. How to, like you said, communication is important. Maybe some math, some basic calculations as well. Yeah, very good. And the ability of getting people together, you know, how to unite people and make yourself heard. That it's also something that I feel most companies should worry about, how to make the teamwork be effective, you know. And leadership, of course, that is always you have a leader that people should look up to, and this person should be trained in the ways the company can provide. So, well, what do you think about this one?
We are number 5, yeah?
Yes?
Yeah, I believe, for example, emotional intelligence, it's so important today. It's a very interesting issue and needs to be, well, talked a lot in the companies, because we've seen lots of problems of mental health, and it's important to the companies to, well, engage the employees to have contact with professionals, yeah, when we talk about that. And also English is always important, maybe I would say, especially when you talk about multinational companies or national companies with multinational clients. Um, and well, uh, depends on the fields. Leadership is important. Yeah, some tech skills too. For example, Office, Excel, the basic. So there are some specific things so important for almost everybody. Yeah.
It's true. I always see like CRM devices or programs that are, for example, if you are working with customers, with clients, they need you to know some things about this. CRMs are like programs that when you keep all the data for your clients, and it's just another example that I remembered about technology and how you can how this knowledge is needed for different types of companies. So the next question, I'm gonna ask Leo to read and answer. You can start, Leo. Question number 6. Okay.
Yeah. If you received an invitation to train your workmates, would you accept it? Of course, I did this to teach Tableau, a specific tool about data visualization. And for me, it's always a pleasure, yeah, to help my friends and also to learn with them. It's important this kind of changing experiences when you know something more than the others. But in the other hands, we always have things to learn with our friends, yeah, with our workmates. And you, Vinicius?
Yes, for sure. I would do something like that, provide knowledge to my workmates. Why not? I think I like the feeling of helping people for sure. I think if you learn something, a specific skill, why not share with people outside your your club for sure? Because I think knowledge is limitless. So I think if you are the bridge between people and knowledge, I think that the feeling is so good. So I think one of the most reasons that I've subscribed like a host some days ago was for it because I think we are in times that information can be provided faster. You can share content, you can share news easier. So I think could uh, if you could be in touch with people in a easier way, it would be good for the world, helping people, providing knowledge, providing jobs, and if you are applied to do it, being a teacher, why not? I will do it for sure.
Thank you, Vinicius. I really like that analogy that you made about being knowledge being a bridge, not like something we should keep to ourselves, but you can share and help making people's lives better. Very good. And I would do the same thing. I feel like when we teach, when we share, we learn as well. It's not only, oh, I know everything, so I want to share so people can be impressed with me. No, it's because you feel, oh, I'm putting the knowledge into practice and it's way better than just keeping to yourself. No, just you feel like the knowledge is useful for some purpose, so I would accept it. Of course, that is a huge challenge because we don't know how people are gonna receive the information, if they're gonna engage with you or not. if you're gonna get nervous at the presentation, or if things are gonna be calm. But I think it's worth a shot. You can try and do your best for sure. And usual.
Like my colleagues, sure, are you accepted? And I think it's important for your career when you did this training in the company, because you'll be identified like specialist in your area in this topic. I think it's important for you too.
Yeah. It can be a little selfish, right? It's gonna give you some visibility. You can be seen as a reference. So very good point. I haven't thought about it in this way, you know. It's so romantic when say I like to help people, but it's also good for you. So another reason for you to accept the challenge. Very nice, Ju. And we have some minutes. Would you guys like to choose the next question? Or can we follow the order? What do you think? Okay, so I'm gonna continue with question number 7. So I'm gonna ask Vinicius to start with this question. And the question is, should employees be obligated to attend company trainings? Vinicius, go ahead.
I think specifically work for companies, I think you need to be in the same connection with your higher employers in doing trainings that a company can offer to you could help you to improve yourself. Either it could provide you a new opportunity, maybe in the same company or in another job. For example, like if I'm work in a company and the company offers me a English course or a programming course, being making me like a obligation to do it, but I think it can help me trying to improve myself. And why not making me choose another path? Like if I would like to work with programming and doing a specific course that a company offers to me, why not choose this path to follow? I think making trainings it is for personal development, personal background, calling something about education. So for me, I think yes, for sure. Employees should do the every course that a company offers to them, for sure.
I understand your point, and I agree, but to a certain, only not completely, you know, because I feel like employees are not children, because when you force someone to do something, it could make them be annoyed, or it's like, oh, it's not gonna be so productive for them. But I truly understand when you say about getting being committed to the company, because if they are investing in you, you should take the course, right? But maybe you can do a mix. Some courses are mandatory, and others it's up to you to choose the one that it's more interesting and it's more relevant for your field and your personal interests. So yeah, I feel like we can. It's a challenge because some employees are going to subscribe for the course and not completely follow it. They are gonna give up in the middle. So it's an investment that is not gonna that's going to be wasted in a way. So it's hard to define the line, you know, if it's completely mandatory or the companies have completely free the freedom to choose if, whether they'd like to take the course or no. So maybe try to find the balance. It's always the best thing to do, in my opinion. What do you think, Drew?
I think it depends the situation. For example, uh, I never waited the company pay one course for me or give me one course. I always did the courses interesting for my job, interesting for work, interesting for company, and for my own choice. Years after years, the company choice the course similar the course I did. I think no makes sense. I did again. Or I'm doing all the course. It's a good for company, but the company offers the older course. It's not so good. For example, I think no makes sense. I I think but there are courses. It's necessary. It's needs because it's about the culture. It's about the change in the company.
Yeah, every person has the way of learning. So if you just try to make, oh, you should take this course, and you don't like the methodology, you don't like the teacher, the content itself, sometimes it's not worth it for you to follow the course. Yeah, I understand completely. Thank you, well, go ahead.
Yeah, we are talking about number 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I don't know. Depends on the field. Yeah. For example, if I'm a doctor and I need to realize a training about some specific way to take care my patients. I don't know if that's the word, paciente. But for example, in this situation, should be obliged. But if I am in a situation where the company wants to provide a training about whatever other things like emotional intelligence, maybe this is not something obliged. Yeah, it's something that the employee should choose or not. Yeah, and not be obligated to realize this training. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I get it. Thank you so much, Clem. And our time is about to finish, but I'd like us to answer one more question. That is number 10. Okay. So we talked here about company culture some weeks ago. So do you guys think the company culture affect corporate education? And if so, in which ways? Vinicius, can you start?
Yes, for sure. I think with my with personal experience here at my job, I think there are people who are who try hard, trying to learn new educational background for sure, new course. But here specifically, I think my company they thinking offer opportunities for work, but I don't see too much at the motivation people to do new course here. I think if you want to do something, I think here you need to do for yourself. You need to start for yourself. But of course, we will have opportunities for you to work. But I think there are a lot of companies that do it. My last experience in my last job, I think and some people had the opportunity to improve themselves, uh, themselves doing courses, gaining promotions for sure. But there were people who 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 did because they didn't want to do it. So I think it is more specifically for company to company, not talking in a general way for sure. Okay.
Thank you, Vinicius. And I'm gonna go to Ju because we don't have much time. Go ahead, Ju. Go ahead, you can share your perspective on this question. Okay, so guys, I share with you the survey. Okay, there is the feedback link. You can give your opinion, your suggestions for the next weeks. What else? Talking about the question, yeah, I agree with Vinicius. Some companies don't promote such a healthy environment, because if you are in a company and people tell you all the time you should be productive, you shouldn't rest, and when you have something like a course that you need to keep some time, take some time to study, and you're gonna feel like, oh, I should be working. This is not working. No, this is me doing something that is not so important. So depending on the culture, how much the idea the company passes about the education, about you taking time to study, to improve that these skills, you could feel like corporate education is more or less important. So I feel like the leader, it's an example, good or bad, obviously, that if he or she is someone who is always encouraging employees to study and to be their best versions, okay. But if someone that it's always, I don't know, like he feels like, oh, this person is studying because he wants to leave the company, he wants to do something else. There are some leaders like that. So maybe the leader is a huge figure in a company that it's like a role model for everyone. You not like you should not follow him just because, but sometimes the influence is big, right, in our daily life. Yeah. Leo, what do you think?
Sorry, I didn't hear so much.
Oh, okay. The last question. Do you think the company culture affect corporate education?
Of course, because for example, if we are in a situation where a company have a culture of hard working, yeah, a very intensive hard working, we can face some problems because employees will not be engaged to study, yeah, and to learn things about the company or to participate in an education program because it will sounds like a fakey program, yeah, because in one side people are studying, yeah, um, by the company, but in the other hands people are working a lot, and then I don't believe that could be a good option. For example, imagine a company with a very hard working culture trying to promote things about health, mental health. It's something very, strange.
Good point. I couldn't agree more. It's common, you have an environment that is so toxic, and you
Yeah.
just put some courses to make it better or to
Yeah.
mask things a little. Yeah. As usual.
I agree with my colleague, and I think it's a fact. For example, the company is more competitive. Of course, wants employees, competitive employees.
Sure. Guys, we're gonna say our goodbyes now because of the time. Okay. I really appreciated you guys coming here and talking with me. I hope you had a nice time. I shared the link to this conversation as well, so you can listen to yourself. It's always great to hear your voice. Sometimes not so beautiful, but anyway, it's good for improving, right? So I'm gonna see you next week. We're gonna discuss happy hours because I wanted to bring something easier, I don't know, more relaxing, I guess. So thank you so much, and until next time. Okay, guys.
You guys, bye bye.
Bye.
See you.
Thank you. Till next time.